We're out here for just the very beginning of the afternoon rush, and police say it's not really this time of day, it's that morning commute when they see a lot of these thefts happening. We're talking things as simple as checking your email, going online, and clicking a link. So what we still don't know is how the United Way became a target of that attack. Today, it's a very different story. It's very quiet, a normal work day. The doors don't open to 7:30, and when they do, you can expect there will be a lot of attention on this race, not just here in the Commonwealth of Virginia, but across the nation. This is where they will spend the majority of their shift. Cleanup is going on right now. They actually haven't stopped since I was here earlier today, and I will see that everything is quiet today. And take a look at just how big this site is out here. She invites them to be more proactive, to walk this neighborhood and get to know the people who live here. That way, they'll be more prepared if these hoaxes continue. Event organizers have come up with these maps and 18 new routes, ones that they want riders to try out and give them feedback on. They hope that those riders will then come back on their own time or spread the word, starting a new tourism niche for our area. It could still be a couple more years before they know the full effect that winter cold snap had on these mature plants. So to hedge their bets, new vines, though these now come with a new set of concerns. You can even see some of that same signature orange mud. Connor says she has tried to reach out to the company. I want to show you this really quickly, this amazing feat of engineering. They've got two pumps set up, these amazing tubes taking all of the water that was here earlier, shooting it out of an open window. But the homeowners say that this has happened far too often. So tonight they called us and we got them answers.
This is our water heater, furnace, brand new.
Krista Connor has been through this roughly 15 times in the past 10 years. She says a crushed drainage line in front of her house pushes water through her driveway, yard, into her basement.
Disgusted. This is ridiculous. This is their drainage solution. Basically, they dump it all in my house.
This is where Connor says all of the problems start, at the Rocky Dale quarry. You can even see some of that same signature orange mud. Connor says she has tried to reach out to the company multiple times over the years, but without any luck. So I called Rocky Dale myself. Are you guys aware of this problem? The company said they couldn't talk about the problem, so we called the city of Roanoke. A spokesperson there says the city already has a plan. She told me there is a $500,000 project on the books for fiscal year 2018. They are working on the problem, but that won't help Connor right now.
I mean, there's really nothing we can do. Once it comes in, it's pretty much done.
Connor says that they're not eligible for any flood insurance, so all of the cleanup costs will come out of her pocket. But Melissa, if there is a silver lining here, it's that Connor has been through this before, so she knows she has some good friends who are willing to help her clean up and dry out this weekend. Today, it's a very different story. It's very quiet, a normal work day. Now, we did talk with those witnesses who were out here. They say they can't believe that this happened, but more security needs to come to this area to prevent it in the future.
The car was here. They were arguing from over there.
Robert Mazza saw the argument start Saturday morning and called police as the bullets were fired. A dramatic scene captured in this video.
I told the 911 operator that there was more shots. I counted them out, and I could see the muzzle flash. Everyone was scattering, running. There were screams. People were screaming.
Police arrived just a minute after Mazza's 911 call, what he calls a great response time.
Everything happened real fast, in real life. It seemed like an hour.
Roanoke City Police say they're also investigating another incident here last week, but it was short-lived. They couldn't find the victim, and it only involved a cap gun.
Everybody knows everybody, and alcohol gets involved. People can get ignorant from time to time.
Carlton Fennell works security downtown, and he says he feels safe, and Mazza mostly agrees.
I feel safe working downtown, but I'm also cautious because anything can happen at any time.
I feel safe for me. It's some people, it's mostly the patrons I don't feel safe for.
Mazza says part of the problem is what you don't see in this area. No security cameras on this big wall. It is a fairly shut off part of downtown. He says he'd like to see those implemented in this area. And Jean, one of the other things, we did see more police officers, at least it seemed that way out here Saturday night, but police did not comment for this story. Just after I spoke with police today, more hoax calls came in. They said that they have had 4 in about 24 hours to this area. And they say they're calling about a variety of reasons, but every time there is the possibility of real damage.
Hello? Someone broke into my house and I need help.
Roanoke City Police responded to a dire situation Wednesday. A 5-year-old calling herself Melanie, trapped with an armed intruder, her grandmother knocked unconscious.
He's coming downstairs because I hear his footsteps.
And I just heard this big loud thump. And my door flies open, all I see is guns. That's all I see.
That call was a hoax, leading police to this home.
I feel totally violated. They busted my door in. We can't even lock our door tonight after they leave.
Police Chief Tim Jones says at least 4 officers responded to the call surrounding the house before making their way inside.
Activity of this type, using the emergency system, is so foolish and so dangerous in many different ways.
Y'all come in straight guns blazing. Y'all looking for an assailant. What if she would have moved? What if she would have flinched? What if I would have did something wrong? Then it would have been my kids without a mother because y'all there was no knock. They didn't even say it's the police.
If they knock and announce on that door, they may be putting other people's lives in jeopardy.
Police say one more thing that made this hoax so dangerous is it took their resources away from other parts of the city. Luckily, they weren't needed on that night, but if they had, this could have been a very dangerous hoax.
Okay, listen, we have officers at your house, okay? So, you're not playing, are you?
No.
They say, unfortunately, that is an all too common situation. That's because the road is one of the most dangerous places for police. So we caught up with a round of recruits as they got better prepared for any scenario.
You control the vehicle.
Sergeant Dan Walters leads Roanoke County's emergency driving training, and he says he remembers the moment he heard a local deputy, Curtis Bartlett, had been killed while driving on patrol.
It hit me hard. I was actually working the night that it happened, and I'm a midnight sergeant, so I saw the story come across the media outlets at about 3, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Walters says he hopes to honor Bartlett's memory by learning from the tragedy. And a lot of these new recruits come in excited to open up on the road, but it is Walters' job to instill discipline.
Yeah, you certainly get a adrenaline rush, but you know, the more you're used to it, or the more you do it, the more you kind of get used to it. So they're trying to avoid any sort of tunnel vision.
Recruits say they learned that this is where they will spend the majority of their shift, 70 to 85% of their time. But these makeshift offices are also one of the most dangerous places for police.
You have to drive with due regard. Due regard for the public, due regard for the suspect, due regard for yourself, and due regard for the property. That's the most important things that we try to teach out here.
It's a tough academy. It really is, both physically and mentally. You're tested either way under stressful situations. I think so far we're doing pretty well.
According to the Officer Down Memorial page, there have already been 39 line-of-duty deaths this year. 17 of those involved automobiles or motorcycle, and by comparison, only 13 involved gunfire. So, Jean, they are hoping that today's training will help keep those numbers as low as possible.